the boom in China stocks has been insane. What's your take?
Well, Brian, you've already said the China A shares, which is ASHR, that's an ETF that tracks a lot of that, has been on fire. They've been buying those upside calls in that for weeks. They've also been buying the FXI and KWeb, which is really centered on those internet names in China. They've been buying upside calls and rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. So at least right now, Brian, the bets continue to be that it rebounds and stays on track rather than, oh, we've gone up this far, let's pull back. They're not betting on that at all. They're betting on higher and higher over there in China right now. Makes sense with the reopening, right? That we'd start seeing more and more upside. But you know what they say, buy rumors, sell news. But right now, they're not selling news, Brian.
Yeah. Although also the Chinese government and their central bank is one of the few in the world that's stimulating right now. The rest of the world's getting tighter, but they're adding money to their economy and loosening up their fiscal and monetary policies.
Very much so. And that's obviously having an impact on those shares, much like some of the threats of tightening here have made our shares a little more nervous.
Well, the risk there, though, to your point is, John, I would imagine you would caution investors and Market Rebellion clients to be a little careful. I mean, we're just one COVID lockdown headline away from a big turn. I would imagine, unless Xi Jinping has suddenly decided, I'm not going to care about COVID anymore because I'm worried about getting my third term in November.
Yeah, I do think that plays into it pretty significantly, Brian. And we both know he's over in Hong Kong to celebrate the handover from Britain to China of Hong Kong. And I think he is loath to increase and probably more likely to go a little softer on some of those lockdowns. The zero COVID policy just has not worked out well for China.
No, it is not. John, let's switch gears and talk about crypto. You just heard us do the story about Robinhood. Are they going to get bought by FTX? No, they're not. Bankman-Fried, whatever. Binance, separately, another company, they've talked about looking at like 50 to 100 deals. Their words, not mine. What do you make of Binance and all that's going on in crypto?
Yep, that's right. And we're seeing big upside speculation in a lot of the likely targets now, Brian. Riot Blockchain, that was, of course, one of the biggest miners, RIOT. A lot of upside call buying there. And this coincides with exactly that story you're talking about. Whether it's Sam Bankman-Fried at FTX, Binance, or perhaps even though they're letting people go over at Coinbase, perhaps any of these companies that have cash available to them or credit, Brian, I think those are the ones that are going to be trying to buy some of their either competitors or verticals that could make their business better on the cheap right now. And I bet we see a lot of deals over the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, the question is going to be who they're going to be the winners long term. But is it better just to stick with the biggest of the big right now, John, if people are thinking about investing?
Yes, but I would say, for instance, a company like Riot Blockchain, a company like Hut 8, those kinds of companies, Brian, if they get combined with a very big entity like Binance or FTX, that means they're going to survive. And there's a lot of chatter about which ones of those are going to get that lifeline. And if they get that lifeline, then they'll be one of the ones, like I say, on the other side when things are a lot better for the entire industry. They've been hit so hard with the idea that, okay, who's going to be next Celsius? Who's going to be the next Luna?
Yeah.
Once that gets behind us, I think these can go back to work.